Good morning. Good morning. Ugh. Beautiful sky morning. Nice gradient. Little clouds. Good mix. Had a nightmare today. But hey, look at that number. Had a very weird nightmare. I was like in a fun house or something. And then you go in like one of those secret rooms and like someone was sleeping in there. And then like there was like a doll head on a doll leg. And it was hopping after me. Which is really just weird, but I don't know, it woke me up. And I was like, what the fuck? I rarely remember my dreams. I know you dream every night. But like, maybe because I'm like saying it out loud right now. But what a weird dream. And then the person sleeping in the room was like one of my old roommates. So it's like, why did I think of that? Like, what? Why is that swirling around in my head? The brain is very weird. What is proper foot placement on a pedal? Should I be using like the heel of my foot? Or should I be like T-Rexing it, like kind of tiptoeing on the pedal? I don't know. Let's look it up. Proper foot placement for stationary bike. The ball of your foot over the pedal, slightly down on an angle, ensuring your knee tracks directly over your ankle during the pedaling motion. What? I don't know if this is bad AI. Slight heel drop. Okay. I guess we're good. Kind of hard day to wake up for. I don't know. When I have the schedule to where try as I might, if I want to sleep in, I just can't. I'm just like up in the morning. So before I could do it on the weekends. I guess too much stuff to do. Maybe that's leading to the nightmares. The anxiety of like so much stuff to do. Well, I don't know if I mentioned on Friday, but me and Ellen, we often go to like Goodwill and like look for stuff. Just weird stuff. And our friend also, goes to the same stuff we do. And he found this plate of like a fat man and a blonde woman on a date at an Italian restaurant by this like Japanese artist. So just a very confusing things, but it was a kind of a funny plate. Just a painted plate or whatever. And we went and we couldn't find it. And so we're like, oh, damn, who would buy that plate? We thought we could easily find it and snatch it back up. And so we let it go. And then Friday we had dinner kind of by the place. And we're like, you know what? Let's take another look. And if, we went in for other stuff, but we're like, let's just look through again and see if they like cycle it in and out. And I found it. I found the plate. I will post a picture of it. But it was like Christmas for this like $2 plate. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe we found this. So there we go. I feel like you gotta see the plate to be excited for it. And then you'd be like, I want that plate. And we were able to find it on eBay and stuff. But I was like, I'm not eBaying for one plate. The magic is gone. And then to go and actually find it again. So you probably are wondering, like, why didn't you buy it the first time? It's because, like, we didn't find it. Our friend found it. Took a picture and posted it. And then we went out, immediately beeline for it. But it was on a weird shelf. Like, it wasn't where all the plates are. It was, like, by... I don't even know. By the electronics and stuff. And there just happened to be a random shelf. I was like, oh, there's a couple plates over here. And that was under like a flower vase. And I was like, no way. No way. That level of excitement. One man's trash. Never been more true. I think I felt better finding that plate than I did like graduating high school or college. I was like, oh, I cannot believe we found this. How do I harness that feeling? Give me that feeling more often in my life. I don't know. Felt damn good though. I gotta bring a lunch today, so I'm not tempted to eat out. I've been good. But man, is it hard. Especially at the end of the day. I'm not like hungry, but I just have this sickness in me to like snack on stuff. And Ellen tells me to resist. She's pretty good at curbing that. But I gotta tell you, I have like the low calorie bags of snacks. Another thing Ellen got, and that has been kind of a lifesaver. So it's nice to have like a clementine or one of these low calorie bags to like feed the beast so I don't get like Taco Bell or something. But it's also one of those things where I just can't have anything in the house. It will get just eating. Like, if I had like some hidden candy bars or something stowed away, my fat brain, like a truffle pig, would sniff that shit out, eat them all in one sitting. I wouldn't even space it out being bad. Funny how that works, you know? I gotta clean up all these tools. I have like a pile of tools, like basically every tool in my house to fix the old bike. I don't need them up here anymore. This thing is solid as a rock, this new bike.
Bulkbogan official said, "Hey chat, where is he cycling to?"
Good question. The weekends just fly by. I still want to put the green screen up. Maybe just like right here. So I'm like cycling half the room through a random location. Good morning, good morning. I want them to be like weird places. But then also, I gotta find like stock footage to make it like an hour long. And I still want to cycle through Shrek 1. Like, I just know the way to that I have to edit it. You know the
Listen up, Peloton. Next $1 billion idea.
Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, Peloton's out.
Peloton
$2,000
VR.
for those bikes. Peloton VR. Oh my, I think that would make you sick. I think there's something about like moving into real life and then moving in a headset while you're stationary. I used to play my DS all the time, like when my mom would take us on road trips, and I never was more sicker. Like I don't get motion sick often, but I was playing Mario Kart as we were going up north, and man, I yacked it hard. It was the perfect confidence. I was like, oh, my head's hurting, but I really want to keep playing because it's such a boring drive. Never did that again. You know why I didn't bring up the green screen? I think I keep doing this. I keep remembering and then figuring out it's impossible. This laptop does not have like the strength needed to like do the AI green screen. So I can't like do it live. It's got a weird Intel card for graphics, which I am very unpleased with. Intel's graphic drivers. First off, I had to like uninstall them 80 times and almost completely reinstall Windows because they were just goofing up. But it turned out I just had 2 installed. And it's like, what the hell? That's not my fault. The graphic driver should know that there's one installed or uninstalled if it needs to. Anyway. Silly Intel. I wonder what an easy way as a workaround for that would be. like turn one of my old PCs, pull my 1080 out of my old PC, and somehow make it like an external card. Then we could do it, maybe. I don't know. Worth exploring. Really recycle to the maximum. I don't like Intel, but I do like, I got a framework laptop because I was so upset with Apple. And then all the Windows laptops, it was like HP and Dell rule the market. And I was like, God, I just don't want this. I want to be able to easily fix it. Because the thing that was wrong with the old laptop was just like the USB ports, like, I don't know, just all shit the bed. And I guess that they all were on the same board as like the Wi-Fi receiver. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, if one of those broke, I could easily just plug in like a USB Wi-Fi receiver and fix the Wi-Fi. Or if the Wi-Fi was just working, I would figure out a workaround. But having them both be broken, I was like, that's a problem. Can't transfer files, can't connect to the internet. And of course, Apple was just like, buy a new one. I was like, damn. This is like a cheap thing. So I bought Framework. I spent a little extra money, but I like the mission. That, you know, Framework laptops are like super like repairable. They sell like parts that have like the full schematics and everything out there. And I like it. I like it. It was easy to put together. It made me less scared. Because I've never, like, opened a laptop before. But they have everything, like, laid out. They have, like, QR codes be like, hey, did this break? Did this part of your board break? You can just go order a new one. Just that part. You don't have to full replace your laptop. And they have, like, guides on how to, like, upgrade your screen. And various parts of the... I was like, this is what I want out of a computer manufacturer. And so I will pay a little bit extra for the mission statement, you know. And not even that much more. It's probably what I would have paid for a laptop. So anyway, that's why I don't have the green screen. It's because...
Why do they call it a laptop when I put it on THHE table?
Good question.
Call it table tro.
Table drop. Yeah, did they imagine desk would just go away? And people would just put it up on their laps. People would just be sitting in chairs, cheap chairs. Hey, good morning, Shadow. I'm running Linux on my relatively cheap HP laptop. There you go. Hey. I'd love to get Framework with max specs. My wife had like an old shitty Dell, but they put like Windows 10 on it. But like the laptop had like 3 gigs of RAM, and like Windows 10 needs like 4 gigs to run at all. So it's just kind of like, Who's the idiot who did this?
Byzantiadev said, I once had the ability to run Windows 1995 Tech on Windows 10, but an update buggered that up.
Ah, bummer.
I wish I could fix that. Bulkbogan official said, shoutouts to my boy Tux Taihi Penguin.
Yeah, there you go.
Does he still kicking?
He is, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I just put a Mint on there. Linux Mint. I completely fixed it. It starts up in a reasonable amount of time. It's at like actually usable. That's just like, why? Why did they sell laptops that just are completely unusable? And like the solution, why don't they sell laptops with Linux on them? Do they just have like, are they just so strong-armed by Apple and Microsoft to not?
Byzantiadev said, the bloatware on new laptops is really annoying.
Oh, it's so insane. And sometimes it's like 100 gigabytes worth of shit. Of just stuff that, who would ever open this? Like, I remember there was like a 3 gigabyte ESPN app. I'm like, what the? I was like cleaning my hard drive.
Said, do they even sell desktops with Linux?
I have a computer store near me called Micro Center. They do, but I feel like that is the only one I could possibly think of. I don't think anybody else. And even then, I think they only sell like Red Hat, so you have to like pay money for it. So it's for suckers. But still, I appreciate that they offer the option.
I thought you had to get your Linux on a shady alley from a neck-bearded dude that's 3 times taller than you.
And there's so many distros. I understand it's kind of like intimidating. And then you gotta pray that there's drivers for the shit you have. That's the kind of annoying part of Linux. It's really annoying. But once you get that baby working, don't update anything. Updates often do anything, but hopefully I think most common stuff now is, well, back in the day, I remember Linux just would not have the drivers for certain like graphics cards. It's like, oh shit, like this very weird. I think we're kind of out of that phase, thankfully. But I remember trying to install Linux on like a really old computer, and like it just did not have. I had such a weird card.
Slowly but surely you can emulate Windows on Android now.
Windows on Android? Really? I knew you could do Android on Windows. They were talking about that years ago where they were going to be like, you're going to be able to install Android apps on Windows just like natively. Oh, interesting. I'll have to look that up. Because I love Android. I love like when you have like a jailbroken and you can uninstall all the bloat Android apps too. I did that for an old tablet. I turned it into like an e-reader. I had an old Nexus 7. And like the Play Store just wouldn't work on it anymore. So I'm like, I have to like resort to. And it was like on ancient Android. Like Ice Cream Sandwich or something. Something really old. Yeah, that's a bummer. I wish there was like an easy graphics upgrade for laptops. I wonder what Framework has for it. I haven't. I saw there were some guides for it, but I wonder how actually easy. The problem is, yeah, like laptop form factors are like way different. Like cases, you have like mid, small, large. Way easier to like form factor fit a giant card in there. But with laptops, it's kind of like. But with laptops, I've never actually done it. I've never actually seen it done. But I think you can externally run a card. I don't know what that means. Does that mean you got to plug your laptop into, or the detachable GPU? Yeah, there you go. My only problem with that is I do like how light the Framework laptop is. And if I like slapped a huge GPU in there, then it's like, why not just use my
Byzantia
desktop?
Dev said, sometimes I worry that the game industry in particular chases graphics over everything else.
That's another thing too. I play Balatro most of the time. You think I need a GTX 3080 Ti for that? Hell no. It is plateaued so hard. If AI didn't come around, NVIDIA would be in trouble. But then they blew up because of AI. And switched to CUDA cores, which don't really do anything to graphics. It's like that weird ray tracing. I guess there's some stuff like AI. We haven't really...
The other side of it is that older games look really weird in high-def modern graphics.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. Like, please give me the pixely version. But then the pixels are too huge. It's like, oh my god. That's just a square. On my blurry CRT, I had the illusion. Yeah, I don't need like anything other than integrated graphics for DOSBox games.
Final Fantasy VII would look hilarious in high def in its original design.
Yeah, everything would just be circles. There's something to that aesthetic. Like Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VIII have a very interesting, of the times aesthetic. I can't really put my finger on it. It's that, yeah, like PS1 level graphics. Just something magical. Yeah, I remember. I think Final Fantasy VIII was my first Final Fantasy game. And I got a very weird version of Final Fantasy VIII. I got the PC version, which came on like 4 discs and a weird cardboard sleeve. I wonder if I still have that somewhere. I don't think we threw it out anywhere, but I definitely don't know where it is. But yeah, you had the disc swap. I thought that was so fancy. I was like, wow, I have to change this. That's how big this game is. I remember being so nervous because I was like, please. Every time we had to swap
Tomb Raider
discs,
is still
like
good in
right
my books
after.
because everything in squares that makes jumping easier.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, every time you had to swap discs for Final Fantasy VIII, it was like right after a boss battle, like a hard one. So it's like, oh, please don't fuck this up. Yeah, that's why I love, Mario 64. The Nintendo team has really like a good grasp over like game design stuff. I hate it is literal actual torture doing precision jumping in a 3D platformer. Like unless your controls are like really tuned to the maximum like Mario. Like Crash Bandicoot, I feel like is a little bit torture. I like Crash. I like the Crash aesthetics, but man, some parts of that game are just like straight torture. And there is some like precision jumping in 64, but it's like for very specific stuff. But for the most part, like you could get through the game without precision jumping anything. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. Vermintide 2, get rid of that shit. Oh my god, make it way easier to jump. They put like these tombs and stuff for Vermintide 2. And I've never been... I think I've gotten a few of them one time. If the player character has no shadow, it's guesswork. Exactly, yeah. Oh my god. Half-Life was good, but you had to learn the jankiest crouch jump to play it right. Oh, interesting. I've abandoned prototypes because I just couldn't figure out a jump. That was satisfying. Jumping is hard. Jumping is a hard mechanic in a game to get right. Because first you're like, okay, I only wanted to jump this amount. And then you tweak like the speed and fall, and then it's like, oh, now you can space jump for some reason. I don't know why that is. And then I don't know, I've spent like days like tweaking jumps of games only to like ruin it completely. I was just like a little bit unhappy with it at first, and then I completely break it with like trying to rewrite the jump logic. And there's like so many specific things. There's like coyote time for like giving you a little extra time after you fall off a ledge to jump.
I still find it funny that until Elden Ring the From Soft Souls games didn't have a jump bottom.
Yeah, I remember that. I think, yeah, before Elden Rings, I think that was one of the reasons I like uninstalled. I was like, what the hell? I can't, I want to jump and I can't. And it's just a roll. You see something that's like a new area, and you're soft locked from getting to that area because you can't do a little bit of a jump. It's like just taller than a roll. It's like, okay. Hopefully they learned a lot of lessons from Elden Ring. And they used that to like hopefully the next Dark Souls game has jumping. It just like has the Elden Ring controls. Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's the impressive things about fans. Someone will just get a bug in their ear, and they'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna rewrite the graphics engine of this old Final Fantasy game to work on Linux. Jumping is such a video game thing, though. Yeah. Yeah, so maybe not. Maybe the next Dark Souls game, they'll go back to form. They go, we don't need no stinking jumping. You can roll, can't you? I guess that would make it kind of harder to balance. Yeah, it just introduces a whole slew of new ways to break the game. Or when I was young, I would be like, games that have you instant die when you fall in the water because they didn't want to add swim controls. I'm like, now looking at it from like a game design perspective, I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I'm not programming a whole swim engine, swim controls. It ain't an underwater game. I remember in Grand Theft Auto, I think Vice City, there was a lot of them where you would just die as soon as you hit the water. I remember being like, you can't swim in this game? I mean, it's not a swimming game. It's not an underwater game. Yeah, of course you can't swim in the game. The game is so complicated otherwise. Why complicate it with a whole new set of controls? One thing I don't understand, though, allow remapping of your controls. That is sometimes there's such a bullshit button for something. And it's like, I can't remap this? What the hell? Like, it's such an easy thing to add. Take this button that is for something and do something else. And I wish you could do that for keyboards. My keyboard has like an extra program that comes with it. I have a glorious, and I can remap any key on my keyboard to anything else, which is nice. Such a simple benefit. Switch to different profiles or whatnot.
The original King Kong game had R3 on the PS2 controller for crouch. You never really needed to crouch in that game.
It's very strange, yeah. Who thought we needed a crouch? Or what game did they build it off of that had crouch? Because a lot of these studios, they just recycle engines from other games. I wonder if anyone's ever did a deep dive through that and been like, hey, this is built off this engine. So let's see if you can do this. Yep. You can crouch in King Kong because it's built off of a weird first-person shooter engine. And they just left it in there.
I don't think I've seen another game do spear throwing mechanics like it though.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I wonder how beholden we are. Because, I feel like a lot of modern games just have, modern first-person shooter controls for no reason. Look at, Celeste. That just, took jumping and did something interesting with it. The weird, verticality, horizontal jumping puzzles. I played the shit out of Celeste. And, it just really took a new mechanic and ran it through the ringer. In a good way, in a good way. They really explored everything you could do.
Indie games with 1 or 2 mechanics are often more memorable because time has to be spent making those 2 things work.
Yeah. Thinking of something new, I guess, is the hard part. A game I had to give up because it was too hard. Kingdom Come Deliverance. I started playing it. I just don't have the time to learn. And man, unskippable cutscenes to the max. And sometimes just confusing. Like, there's a part where you're like run away from like a town that's being attacked. It's very early on in the game. It's like still tutorial mode. And I'm like, where do they want me to run? So I like run towards the main road and I get killed. I'm running around. I'm like looking, and all you have to do is run straight. Like it's like, oh, so in this open world kind of game, you just want me to run straight. Then why is it part of the game? Like just have it still be part of the cutscene. And it's like the only way you can beat that section of the game is just run straight ahead as fast as you can. It's like, well, then don't give me an option. Like, what is the point? If you try to do literally anything else, these like high-level soldiers will come and like 2 or 3 shot you. I don't know. Some games like to waste my time, frustrate me with like, what do I do? Like, I appreciate not having a quest marker and like go exactly here, pick up a chicken and bring it right back here. I don't need that level. I mean, look at like Dark Souls. Dark Souls has like so complicated, confusing quests. And I kind of wish there was like in-game hints so you didn't have to look at guides, but you can figure it out, right? But then there's the other spot of that. Well, I guess you can't figure it out. There's some secret stuff in Dark Souls that's like, what the hell? How did anyone figure this out for the first time?
What's the worst game you played that you actually enjoyed?
Worst game I played that I actually enjoyed. It wasn't the most popular, but I liked. It was such like a weird niche thing, and the controls weren't that good. But I really liked the story, and I kind of liked the gameplay. Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, or whatever. 2 Worlds. Oh, I had to refund 2 Worlds. I was so flabbergasted at the rug pull I felt from like the screenshots versus the gameplay. Oh, that's funny though. An interesting game with a lot of stuff that you could break. Dark Messiah, I feel like it's maybe not the worst game, but it's just kind of underrated. I'm trying to think of like an actual like a bad game that I like.
It had a multiplayer mode, but I never saw someone else play it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can you imagine being networking is so hard, and they had to do probably such a massive team to add multiplayer for that, and then just to have no one care. It probably sucked. Maybe they didn't spend that much time on it. I forget what they're called, but I like I I don't even know what the genre is. Puzzle game, I guess. Like the weird. I'm locked in a room. Like I guess like a gamified version of escape rooms, where it's just like puzzles on puzzles. You're like solving cubes and stuff. But like the cheap versions of that, not like Myst or something. Like they used to have like bargain bin packs of these games. And I think Steam's probably got a bunch of them. I enjoy a good puzzle. Something satisfying about. Even if the graphics suck or the story is awful. Just something inherently fun about that. Not necessarily a bad game either, but Tribes, I loved like the surfing mechanic in Tribes. If you've never played Tribes, it's kind of like an FPS, but like you can kind of like surfboard through to the terrain. And so everybody, it's like a skate park almost. Every level is like this huge skate park. And people are just like surfing around the terrain at high speeds. I'd like to see like a modern Tribes come back. Maybe a game of its time. Oh, mobile games? Yeah. Problem with mobile games now is they all got like ads. And it's like, hey, to keep playing, you gotta watch this 30-second ad or something, or there's coins, in-app purchases. There's a very brief window of time where, they were just like adding weird RPGs to like mobile games and like just trying to figure out the controls. And they were just like, here, let me sell it for $1. No in-app purchases. They didn't have that shit all figured out yet. Oh, interesting. Yeah, there was a rare period where it looked like mobile gaming wasn't going to shit. And then like Zynga and Farmville and Wordle. Just absolutely shit the bed and created this like I wish I could wake up tomorrow morning and just have like in-app purchases be like illegal. Figure something else out.
The asset swaps are so obvious.
Yeah. And just also like, you know what? It's a necessary evil that needs to go away. And even for like cosmetic items. Sorry, there's too many loopholes with cosmetic that could lead back to this gambling circle. And this circle of like white whales. I forget.
In-game currency that can be earned forces you to play the game more.
But some YouTuber did like a deep dive on like, why do I have these like fake ads for mobile games that are clearly fake that don't exist? And then I download them and they turn into a different game. Like, why not just make that the game? And it turns out it's just like, it's like spam looking for these white whales that get addicted to these games. And that, if you get a couple white whales for a game, like those suckers are pouring $10,000 plus into a game on a yearly basis. So yeah, like, I wonder how many people there are. That should be a forced Like, Google should have to reveal that. Like, how many people, how many single users are, like, spending boko bucks, like, on in-app purchases? I remember hearing that Michael Jordan spent $10,000 in 1 month on Farmville to do his farm because he was so addicted. I remember thinking that was so
Maybe
funny.
make white whale a job position.
Yeah. But now it's like so sad. It's like, God, he's got such a gambling problem for a game that doesn't give you any return. Oh, the sun is shining. I believe in-app purchases are gambling and should be made the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not gamble via mobile game. That is my holy scripture of the day. Okay, the sun going down again. I looked directly at the sun for a second.
Do you think it's on par with the slot machine people that don't even acknowledge the world around them?
I think it is. Yes, definitely on par. I think it is that for the new generation. The old trolls that saunter into the casino at 6 in the morning with their plastic cottage cheese containers filled with quarters, and they just lose them all. They're not excited to win whatever. As soon as they win, they pop them back in. God, how do we see that as a society and go, this is okay? How do you live with yourself working at a casino and see that level of just sad? There's a bootleg of Minecraft called Block Story. Okay. I'm intrigued. Hey, I mean, look at Roblox. Yeah. That kind of took off. And Roblox took off mainly because they just had, like, such amazing mod support. Like, you could make entirely different games in the weird Roblox engine. It was just, like, so quick for these, like, teenage game developers to figure it out and put out stuff. And it's just like... And I think Roblox had, like, a second resurgence after, like, Squid Games, because they just, like, literally, like, some teenager ripped off Squid Games that had Roblox Squid Games. I don't know. Quite interesting. Yeah, I mean, like, look at Warcraft. Warcraft 3. That had some legs on it because of custom maps and all the mods and stuff you can make
It's like
with that.
Fortnite. It used to be its own game mode, and now it's every game mode in one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hate that. I was actually kind of excited when they took out the building aspect of it. But I think that was kind of the part that made it special. But then you just had these weird ends to matches where it was just like a turtle as much as you could, build as high up. I think that was like an interesting side effect, though. The circle getting smaller and smaller, and people building these two towers that kind of like spiral into each other until... What an interesting thing. You're fighting at the same time. I used to play a bunch of PUBG. Man, I don't know. What clicked that just like... It seems like everybody got sick of it at the same time. I think just too many people got good at it.
I think
Cheating
most
kinda
of
got
those
rampant.
games catch a bad rep usually because of the fans and meta.
Yeah, kind of a toxic diss. Whoa! Super holy. Stop recreating PUBG and What was the game before that? What was the zombie game? Not Daisy, but the other one that was. I was just like PUBG, but
Is it worth a compilation of Holy Jason?
maybe. I thought about moving the bike into the basement, but then I'd miss out on this. Like, I love seeing the sun. Can't put a price on having a big open window. And my bedroom's on the other side with like blackout shades I never open. Maybe I should open them up every once in a while. But then again, my house is on the other side, so I wouldn't even get to see the sun. Holy Jason, losing weight. I hope we can at least keep up a pound a week. That's like a good. It makes me feel good on Sundays to be like, next week I'm a pound lighter. That's been the trend so far.
Have you seen the music video for Holy Diver?
I want to say yes. I can't remember anything of it. A lot of those like 80s like heavy metal just have the strangest videos. I miss that too. What happened to that level of production of just these? I guess like MTV isn't what it was, so you don't need to have
Cheesy
like a catchy
stuff.
video.
Just the band walking through a dark church with prop swords.
Even that though, low quality, high quality, they were trying something. Seeing Iron Maiden live, it was like a stage show. Like they have such elaborate props and stuff for Iron Maiden. You might not have many chances to see them live. You might not even like them, but man, he's doing a battle with like a giant skeleton, and my dude's old. He's in like his 70s, and he was sprinting around the stage the whole time, and he would run off and like take a breath and like slam a bottle of water and then come back out. And
It's such a meme that new metal bands just find an old ruin and film the video for Desolator of Ruin there.
yeah. And then there's some metal bands that just like that do really weird stuff, like weird rainbows, or like Soundgarden, like Chris Cornell. Some of those Soundgarden videos, music videos, like Black Hole Sun, that is like such a freaky, and also it's such a weird, unique art style. Like, watch the music video for Black Hole Sun. I don't think I've seen anything like that since or before. Like, I don't even know what to call it. Like weird, like.
That song was such a warning about the suicide though.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I was there. I was at his last concert. I was at the Detroit one right before. And that was like one of the last things he sung, too. That was one of the encore songs. Holy shit. Yeah, I don't know if I can ramp it up. I already feel like this is like an acceptable. It's not. It's hard, but it's like doable. I think if I like try to ramp it up, I would like burn out or injure myself. I don't want to do that. I want to keep it fresh, keep it fun, keep it interesting, slow and steady. This is just like a new part of my life. It's just working out in the morning.
Trick yourself with smaller numbers.
Trick yourself with smaller numbers. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think we've been doing 2 pounds. Maybe do 1 pound. 2 is now like A plus. 3 is like S tier. Anyway, all right. We got it in. Another hour, another morning, another week of trending downward. We're going to have beach bod by summertime. See, you're all in here right now when I'm still fat. When I like lose a bunch of weight and I have like the weird like accumulation video of me like shrinking on the bike, that's going to be the thing that pops off, I feel like. It would suck if it didn't. I gotta like figure out like a weird song or something to put to
Will
that.
we have to leave when you're not fat?
Yeah, everyone has to go when I'm not fat, and I'll never stream again. No, I'll keep streaming. But yeah, I can't even envision a world where that's true. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm excited. You know, I don't think it's realistic, but I crunched the numbers, and if I like keep losing at the rate I did, I could be 200 by November. I don't think that's realistic. I think I'm gonna plateau hard, and I don't know when it's gonna happen. And maybe not though, because I'm doing the calorie deficit. I feel like I've plateaued hard before because I just never changed my diet. But I think with the calorie deficit and working out every morning, maybe I'm just going to steadily keep losing every week. I don't know. We'll find out. Quote me on day 39. Yeah. Anyway, have a good rest of your days, everybody. Thanks for watching, and peace.